Hi, my name is Renzi and today I'll be talking about the realism theory. The realism theory based on films is known to be the theory where film is related to real life. The word real can already be found in realism, which gives a good understanding to what this theory is all about. Onto the history part of the realism theory, to my understanding, I learned that between 1895 and 1905, the French filmmakers Auguste and Louis Lumière and Georges Méliès established the two basic directions that the cinema would follow. The Lumiere's realism stated an interest in or concern for the actual or real, a tendency to view or represent things as they really are. And Méliès' anti-realism part stated that an interest in or concern for the abstract, speculative, or fantastic. Basically, to have a better understanding on what that just meant was to say that anti-realism, just like the word, it usually focuses on films that never will become reality. Realism in the movies basically overrides these approaches and implies that the world it depicts looks, sounds, and moves like the real world. It is also a way of treating subject matter that reflects everyday life. Realistic characters are expected to do things that conform to our experiences and expectation of real life. Before I move on, to support all my statements, I would like to reference here that I got all of it from Barsam and Monahan 2015 looking at movies, an introduction to film. I'll show the textbook here that I reference my statements from. Moving on, some movies that I would love to put out there that are based on the realism theory would be Bicycle Thieves, a drama genre. Here's a picture of what the movie was like. Okay, Bicycle Thieves incorporate elements of realism to render authentically the injustices faced by the poor. It brings a heart-touching story to what reality is. And according to the Italian neorealism, to back this film up, it states that realism in film usually is non-professional actors needed, shot on location, subject matter reflecting poor or working class conditions. My highlight here is the reflecting poor or working class conditions. That is a heart-touching story from Bicycle Thief that I would like to highlight. I'll also show a diagram here about the Italian neorealism. The second movie I would like to put out would be Black Hawk Down, which was a war fiction genre. Here's a picture of it. Black Hawk Down is a very realistic and accurate picture of what American soldiers had to face. It brings reality to show experiences of real life and it sets a feeling of what war feels like. To further explain about realism, realism is a complex concept, in part because it refers to several significant and related ideas. Most of us believe that the world really exists, but we don't agree about the level on which it exists. Some people trust in their senses, experiences, thoughts, and sometimes feelings. And those emotions can be felt by the two movies I had talked about. Moving on, I would like to explain with an example of what hyper-realism is. A good example that I would like to base a movie on that links with hyper-realism is Boyhood 2014. The realism shown in this film is a really rare type because it actually uses the same character from small until big. Shows as the same character changes. It took this film 12 years to be produced. Here is to look to see how Boyhood was like, to show how real it was, that the guy from small until his teenage years. Here's the picture of the movie. To conclude, films being produced simply needs to always have the elements of real in it, in my point of view, because it has the word realism, so the word real must be in there. So you need to have real in your movie to fall under the category of realism theory. That's what I learned, and in my point of view, that's my understanding towards the realism theory. Thank you so much.